Welcome to the instructional video on doing archery here at Amigo. We'll go through a few of the different processes and rules and techniques for teaching archery here. When you first get out to the archery range, you want to make sure and put the flag in the post here. This is a sign to everyone who might be around that there are people out at the archery range. So now we'll head on back and go through some of the other instructions. When you get out to the archery range, everything that you'll need is in this shed here. You'll have a key to unlock it. There are cards with some of the rules down here, and you'll want to go over all of those with the students. There's also bows and arrows and a first aid kit, all in the shed here. Now we're going to go over a few parts of the bow before we talk about how to string it. On the ends of the bows here, you have the nocks, and to the nocks attach the string, which has the serving area here, which is where the arrow will clip on. And then there's the grip, the arrow rests, and right in here, this is where the recurve is on the bow. Now that we've gone over the parts of the bow, we're going to go over how to string it. To start out, you want the recurve area here to go on top of your right foot. Once you've done that, step over with your left foot so that you can press the bow and bend it. Then putting the loop on the other nock. When you've strung the bow, it should have this curved part here facing the serving area on the string. If you can't tell which way the bow has the recurve, just remember that the curved part of the grip should be facing you and facing the string. Next, we're going to go over the parts of the arrow. This part of the arrow is called the point or the pile. This is the shaft. And these are called the vanes or the fletching. This is called the nock up here. One thing to remember is that the odd colored fletching, called the cock feather, is the one that will always be pointing away from the bow.
Hi, I'm Cheryl, and Jessica has just finished talking with you about the equipment for archery. Now we need to talk about one more thing before we actually shoot, and that is to figure out which is our dominant eye. To do that, you want to extend your arms in front of you, bring your hands together, form a small triangle, and through that small triangle, keeping both eyes open, pick a focal point about 20 to 30 yards away. For right now, I'm going to choose the bullseye on the target here. Now the next step is to go ahead and close your left eye. If the bullseye remains in focus, that means you are right eye dominant. It doesn't necessarily have to do with whether you're right-handed or left-handed, but it has more to do with just now determining that. So if the target is not there, I can just double check myself by going ahead now and closing my right eye and seeing if the target is remaining in focus. If the target remains in focus when my right eye is closed, that means that I am left eye dominant. All right, now it's on to the next step, getting ready to shoot the arrows. Okay, now we're going to move on to begin shooting with the bow and arrow. And the first thing you need to think about is your stance. You always want to stand parallel to the fence, not facing toward the target. Stand parallel to the fence with your feet about shoulder width apart, and then go ahead and grab the bow in your non-dominant hand. So if you are right-handed, you want the bow in your left hand. And go ahead and just extend that arm out to the side of your body. But hold it down at waist height, and go ahead and turn it horizontal. There you go. Great. Okay, now we're ready to take the first arrow. Go ahead and lay it on top of the string with the cock feather up. Clip it into the serving area. Correct. Now when you go to pull back on the string, you only want to have the pads of your fingers. And I choose to do one above, one below the arrow. You can also choose to put 3 on there, 1 above, 2 below. But you should only have the pads of your fingers, and they should not be touching the arrow itself. So go ahead and just put your fingers on there, and you can begin drawing back. And one thing that's important is to keep that left arm with the arm a little bit rolled out, not elbow locked in. That keeps you from getting hit by the cock feather as it passes past the arrow. It is important to have that cock feather up so that, again, the fletchings will pass past the rest without being obstructed by the bow there itself. So go ahead and begin drawing back. You're looking for an anchor point with your thumb up here by your ear and your fingers by the corner of your mouth. Begin gently standing the bow up. When you've reached your anchor point, you aim, and fire, keeping your hand right where it is at. Nice shot. Excellent. Okay, we're going to now go on to the second arrow. Jessica, if you'll go ahead and take that next arrow, I'll step back here. One other note, you're welcome to, as you hold the arrow in place, to kind of use your index finger to secure the arrow there as you're clipping it into the serving area. But just make sure you drop that finger down below the rest as you are ready to release so the fletching does not hit your finger there. So when you're ready to go ahead, pull back to your anchor point, stand the bow up vertically, aim, and fire when ready. Nice shot. All right, once all the students have finished shooting, go ahead and have the students return the bows to the rest. And on the instructor's command, all the students will walk around the fence and go begin retrieving the arrows. Okay, when we begin retrieving the arrows, the important thing is to put one hand on the target, right near the arrow, and pull that arrow straight out and lay it down on the ground. And go ahead and do the same thing with all the rest of the arrows. Great, and when you finish doing that, go ahead and pick them up, but you want to hold them in a manner so that the fletchings are not touching each other, and to walk carefully back and put them back into the quiver. All right, at the end of the teaching day, go ahead and return the equipment to the shed. You'll go ahead and de-string the bows, return the arrows there as well, and bottom line is, have a lot of fun with the kids and be safe.